Welcome to another Online Personals Watch CEO interview. I'm joined by Lukas Brosseder, who is the Managing Director and the co-founder of eDarling Affinitas. So welcome to the interview. Thank you
for having me, and a big welcome from Berlin.
Now, this is our first interview, so I'd love to capture your founding story.
Very well. Yeah, it's our first interview. I'm very happy to do it, and now we're almost 5 years after foundation. So I think we earned our spot with you now. I'm pretty happy to be here today. The founding story: David and I, my co-founder, we founded the company end of 2008, November 2008, and there were actually three basic beliefs that we had why we wanted to found eDarling back then in Germany. The one was that we didn't see in Europe a company that was a truly matchmaking company and that really did a true matchmaking as we have seen it in the US from eHarmony and chemistry back then. But here it was always a combination of a dating site and a personality questionnaire, but it wasn't really a true matchmaking. You would just get a lot of matches, and I think the focus was not so much on the matchmaking behind it. So we saw that opportunity in Europe in general. Then we saw, especially that holds true for Germany back in the days, that the existing players here were not very innovative at that time. I think they separated the markets quite nicely, and there was no drive for innovation and no drive for anything new coming to the industry. And we believe that when we started new with an entire new team, with a lot of drive, a founder-run company, which all the others weren't at that time, we believe we can make a big difference. So that was the second thing. And the third one, that we didn't see any matchmaking company in the world actually that was truly international. They were all based in one country, and that was true for Parship and Lead Partner in Germany. That was true for eHarmony in the US. None of them really were able to export that success that they had in their original countries to any international markets. And we believe that should be possible, and that was our idea, that we wanted to go and grow international very much from the beginning. And I think our first 6 months of after launching in Germany in May 2009 showed that. I think after 6 months we were live in 4 other countries.
And how would you say your product and philosophy is different from the likes of eHarmony and Parship?
Well, there's certainly a big difference to the likes of Parship. As said earlier, I think what distinguished us from them is a very true matchmaking. So we're focusing on delivering very good matches, very few of them. So you only get 7 initial matches when you finish our relationship questionnaire. But then we pride ourselves of the quality of matches that we make and the communication that spurs out of it. So that's a big focus of our company, and a big belief that we think will ultimately determine long-term success. So eHarmony, as everyone knows in the industry, has been a big part of us for a very long time, and I think we have grown together in a lot of ways. And initially, it was certainly one of the biggest heroes in terms of matchmaking for us. So in terms of matchmaking, I think we're having very similar ideas and very similar at least mindset on how we want to do matchmaking. Our matchmaking algorithm is completely different from the eHarmony one, but the idea behind it, delivering good quality matches and delivering as many as you can process, is very similar.
And let's talk about matchmaking then. I'm a great believer in matchmaking. People want to have some help, and they'll pay for it. There's so many people on the planet. How on earth can they don't have time to filter through them, so we kind of sort of have to do that. but how do you do that? What is your philosophy? What kind of bases do you focus on for the matchmaking?
Well, we truly believe in compatibility and being matched on having comparable interests and especially personality traits. So based as basically all the other competitors or larger competitors out there, our personality profiling and matchmaking is based on the Big Five model. Right. So I think that has been proven in science for years now, or for decades to be more precise. And we're not going to change that part of it, and I think we're not the ones that take a different route on that issue. That's the one part. The other part is our secret sauce, obviously. And here we do have, I think, several innovative issues implemented, innovative algorithms implemented that most understandable. I will not talk about in detail. But many things are flying into our matchmaking algorithm, and with the technology as we built it from day zero, and then keep in mind that we launched in May 2009, so the possibility to track stuff, the possibility to also develop on the fly and having real-time matchmaking was on a different level May 2009 than it was when eHarmony was founded in the beginning of 2000, or end of the 90s, and Parship and Elite Party beginning of the century. So therefore, I think we have some very unique opportunities to do a better matchmaking, or a very good matchmaking. You can only compare matchmaking, I think, within one site, because a big difference, or a big part of the secret sauce are the users that are on the site. And here we pride ourselves to have a very high educated, extremely dedicated user base. I think that's also a big part of our success.
You had a couple of big pieces of news fairly recently. First and foremost, you parted ways with eHarmony. Could you give us some more insight on why and what happened?
Absolutely. We're parted ways with eHarmony. That is announced publicly now. I think, as we have also announced publicly, we parted in very good terms on either side. So we still have everyone's phone numbers in Santa Monica, and I think they still have all our phone numbers here, and we all wouldn't switch or wouldn't wait for a second to give each other a call if there were any issues or anything we need to discuss. I think the main reason for the parting was that strategy from Dr. Neil Clark-Warren, where he wanted to take the eHarmony brand and also wanted to take the eHarmony company, just didn't include a very global and big international footprint. And having that, or being that being very different from the eHarmony position three and a half years ago when the investment happened, that didn't ultimately didn't make sense to go down the same route, because we wanted to grow internationally, we want to keep increasing our international footprint, and eHarmony was actually on the way to decrease the international footprint. Therefore, that didn't fit together, and it was a good way and a good timing for everyone to take different routes and take different strategies.
Now, how many countries are you in now?
We launched UK and Ireland just a couple weeks ago, and now we're in 22 countries present. So yeah, that was the country number 21 and country number 22.
That's a major move, of course. Well, congratulations on entering UK and Ireland. How did that go, and how did you seed into those countries from scratch?
Well, we're now, as I said, in country number 21 and 22nd, meaning we have done this 20 times before. Especially the last, I would say, 10 to 12 country rollouts have really grown into our DNA, and it's just one of the big assets, I think, of this company, that we know how to internationalize and how to grow business international, as well as we can grow them here at home, and that's one of the initial reasons to have founded that company that I think plays out very well. So, is it with the UK and Ireland? It was the same as the same setup as it was with Hungary and Finland and Denmark and Slovakia, which all were launched this year, beginning of this year. What we do is we have the full suite of the software launched, and we will spend significant 5-digit marketing budgets per day. The site is completely for free. So we build up a user base like it would any other dating site would do that too. We start very early on with TV advertisement in most countries. Therefore, I think very quickly we grow a user base that then allows us to do a very valuable and good matchmaking. But we always have to wait on, and every country is different there. We have to say. In some countries it's easier to grow a user base quickly, others it's more difficult, especially countries with a wide geography and very little inhabitants. A country like Norway, where you have a huge country with only 5 million people, it takes longer to have a sustainable matchmaking base for the entire country, as it is in a country with like Slovakia, which is also 3 or 4 million people, or 5 million people, sorry, but a lot smaller. So this differs in the UK. It wasn't in Ireland. It wasn't any different. We did marketing from day one, and when we had a user base and also activity on the platform that was sufficient, we turned on the payment.
So let's fast forward 1 or 2 years. What's eDarling going to look like in a year or so's time?
A very good question. If I can answer it correctly, then I would ask for an increase in my salary. But no, we have a clear vision and picture of what is eDarling going to look like. We're talking about 16 months, I think, from now. So it's less than 1.5 years. There's only so much you can do. We will grow further international. I think we launched with UK and Ireland, very big markets. So especially UK is the largest dating market in Europe. Therefore, we haven't been there until now. There's a lot of things to do. So I think the UK market itself will allow us to get our heads around for the next couple of months to almost years. I'm very excited to be able to do that. And we don't rule out that we will grow international in more countries that are still there. I think there are some European countries still available, and we have been launched in Chile and in Mexico, where we also see opportunities in South America to grow further.
Great. Lukas Brosseder, you're the Managing Director and co-founder of eDarling. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me, and I hope we'll get a chance anytime soon.
Thank you.